We welcome in Katie Torres-Nolan as we catch up with one of the all-time greats in University of Tulsa softball history. Katie was known, of course, as Katie Torres when she was playing at the University of Tulsa. And Katie, thanks for taking the time to catch up.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate
Let
it.
us
This is kind of
know.
cool.
Let us know just a little bit kind of what has gone on since you graduated. I know you're in the Oklahoma City area.
Yes, we actually just moved into a little suburb outside of Oklahoma City just in February. But it's been, oh my goodness, how many years? 13, 14 years since I've been at university. I started work right out of college at Chesapeake Energy, and I just celebrated my 13th year anniversary with them. It's just, I've been going through, I worked in the land department for about 10 to 11 years, and I just actually started over last year into the supply chain department. So pretty
Now
big
you were
whirlwind.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now you were recently voted into the all-time team on our Twitter voting for TU softball as the first baseman on the all-time team. And I know you were involved in that as well. I remember seeing a couple of your tweets, kind of urging people to vote for various people, but a lot of fun certainly. But what does it mean when you're kind of voted on a team like that?
It's very humbling, actually. Just to see one, like you said, it was kind of crazy, but it allowed like all of our teammates kind of to get together. We were on a little chat, group chats here and there. We were sharing posts back and forth. We were supporting each other. It was just a ton of support. And it actually brought a lot of support or viewing from other fans that I didn't know could remember us back then. We feel like we just got out of college, but then we remember, it was 14, 15 years ago. So.
Yeah, and there's no question that TU softball has exploded, not only the time you were there, but since then. And it's quite a family right now in terms of the support and the support group that TU softball has.
Definitely. It definitely has. And, I've gone back for a couple of alumni games. There were a couple that I couldn't play in, one, being pregnant, and then another I broke my hand actually playing slow pitch softball. So, but just seeing the camaraderie with even the younger athletes and the current athletes and the alumni, the teammates that I had, even, 15 years ago. So it's grown, and I'm so proud to watch the team grow as much as it has, being part of that team that won the first conference championship, going out my senior year, doing that, all the hard work and everything we put in for those 3 years and that fourth year, it makes me proud and actually really humble.
When you finished your career, Katie, you were the all-time leader in home runs for TU, and now you're number 3, I believe it is, number 3 in doubles. I think you still hold the record for putouts as a first baseman. You were a terrific defensive first baseman. What was softball like back in those days for TU as you kind of helped build the foundation and build the program?
Hard work. I mean, I think about all the practices that we, just the little drills here and there that we did with our infield coach. The words that come to my mind are, blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, wholeheartedly. Coach Pink pushed us and pushed us and pushed us. We got better each day. We set small goals and accomplished those to get to our big goal. There were things that the community kind of put their arms around us, but there were things that, the nation didn't see Tulsa softball accomplishing, and we did those things. We went in and beat OU when we needed to, and even when people didn't think we were going to. They were top 10 coming off of national championships, and we walked in there like they weren't anyone, and just another softball game, and we came out winners. And it's just, like I said, the blood, sweat, and tears that you put in, it's very awesome to see that and feel that at the end of it, knowing you accomplished something huge for the school.
And as stable as the Tulsa program has been, obviously with John Barrfell and now Chrissy Strimple, you kind of forget that going back to your time, you had Jamie Pinkerton, who was terrific and moved on to Arkansas. Then you had Christy Canoyer for a year. And then John Barrfell comes in as your first-year head coach, if you will, and you're kind of coming in as a senior in 2006. Did you have to kind of buy in? What was going on? What was that dynamic like?
I think the dynamic was great. He came in knowing that he had this group of seniors, and he kind of picked our brains. We picked his brains. Him having his baseball background, that really helped. And it brought a different mindset to the game, which I kind of liked bringing old school baseball into that time of softball. I mean, just when it comes to even just like the lead offs, how you lead off, how, versus just the old school, just get there, get back. I mean, he put different things in our head to where you really, really thought about something. And like I said, I mean, he brought a different mindset, a good mindset, and just for us to all come together, along with Brooke Smart coming into being a freshman that year, all of us just working together and knowing, we were thinking maybe it might be a rebuilding year. We didn't know. But the 5 seniors that we had that year, we all put our minds together as one and said, you know what, we're going out and we're going to go out strong.
And then in that 2006 year, it was your first year in the Conference USA. You win the regular season title, I think, by a half game because there were some cancellations and some rainouts and that sort of stuff. So you were the number 1 seed, and you're playing at home in the CUSA championship, and kind of had the battle to get yourself back to that final game, getting in the championship game. But what a special moment that was when Brooke Smart hit the 3-run home run in the bottom of the 7th inning to take you to your first league title and first NCAA. Where were you, and what was going on in your mind and the minds of your teammates?
So knowing Brooke came up and she had been hitting the ball, just 2 people that day, all of us we had been putting the bat on the ball. I was actually 3-hole. I was batting 3-hole that season and that game. So she was lead off. So I was actually standing on the top step of our dugout. I don't know if there is a screen there anymore or if there is one anymore, but we didn't have one at all. So we were all standing up on that concrete platform. And Julie Schaefer, one of our seniors, we had this thing with hot tamales. And it was we got some before the game and we were all going to get a hit. That was our superstition. But then we all the last 2 innings, we had them both in hands, and we were just like almost kind of the movie Major League where they have the marbles with Serrano. That was kind of what we were doing. But I was just standing up there, and she had 2 strikes on her. It was 0-2 count, and just that picturesque moment that any person sees themselves when they're like little, playing, little league and everything. Just it would have been more surreal, I guess, if it was a 3-2 count. So, but just having 2 strikes on her, and she was fighting off, and hitting that ball. As soon as she hit it, we all knew it was gone, and we leaped out. I mean, it was just, it kind of brings tears to your eyes because, like I said, you worked so hard for that moment, and it came for us.
And that's special because it was the first time. And for you, for a senior, quite an accomplishment. And for your fellow seniors, I'm sure there was a lot of emotion.
Definitely. I mean, I think we cried that entire post game. People trying to do interviews. I mean, we're crying and just happy tears. I mean, your adrenaline is going, and then all of a sudden you can just release all of that. And it's just surreal. Very surreal. I think we even cried into the night, just going, did this really happen? Did this really happen? Did we make it?
And you may not have known it at the time, but you were building that foundation for some great success that's gone on. And I know you followed the team and got to kind of feel like you're part of that, one of the bricks in that foundation, huh?
Definitely. Most definitely. And, to see Coach Barrfell go as long as he did, I mean, and just take the team where he did, and they, their work ethic and everything. I mean, it's very proud to be an alum for TU, and just to see that. And then now seeing Chrissy Strimple, I played with her. She was a senior when I was a freshman, and I've actually known her before even Tulsa. Just to see her get the head coaching job, I mean, it makes me proud just as her friend. So.
You got to play in your first NCAA. Unfortunately, Tulsa lost both games. It got knocked out early, but what a great experience that was, certainly. And then a few weeks later, you get a chance to graduate. You were also part of the 2006 Ultimate Team at TU. Yes. Take us to the academic side a little bit, and how proud you were to get a degree in kinesiology and exercise sports science, and then be on the Ultimate Team.
I mean, and within the academic side, my parents always pushed me to, get straight A's, and I hardly ever got B's in life. I mean, it was kind of one of those, if you bring a B home, you better have worked your tail off to get that B. But, just the work ethic on the field, it was also off the field as well. I take pride in my schoolwork. I take pride in my work now. Some would call it kind of a perfectionist type thing, I guess you could say. But just being able to accomplish student athlete, the goals that we set for ourselves, accomplishing those goals on the field, but then also the goals that we set for ourselves off the field, and being able to wear that cap and gown and know that you have your bachelor's degree. I mean, I'm very prideful about that. So.
And then you went on and got your master's degree, and then started working, as you mentioned earlier, for Chesapeake Energy. But what did your degree at TU do for you?
Within work, or as far
just
as
in general?
Just in general. Well, I wasn't able to use the kinesiology degree. I wanted to go on and work in physical therapy, but God had different paths for me. I actually started working at Chesapeake in 2007 and working in the land department, but just the hard work and dedication and taking pride in your work, learning, understanding, and just overall completing something. No teamwork. I mean, we're very, we communicate inside, outside our offices. I mean, just working at home has kind of been one of those weird times for all of us, because we're just so used to seeing each other's faces, being each other's offices. But just the teamwork, I feel like, and just knowing that you're that person that somebody can come to.
Even though this has not been good to be cloistered and have to work at home and that sort of thing, I guess one of the positives would be that perhaps you've connected more with teammates. At least there have been some positives in that regard. Is that true for you?
Oh, most definitely. I had talking to Stacy Walking Stick. I haven't talked to her in forever. And then just this kind of brought together, we were able to communicate. I've talked here and there with Kelly Miller, where I'm now, here and there, but throughout all of this all-time team stuff, that we actually were on the phone one day for about 45 minutes, just reminiscing and talking about our kids and just family life and everything. So, and then I actually work about 2 offices down now from Lindsay Galloway. So she came back from Canada and started working at Chesapeake about 5 or 6 years ago, but now we're actually able to work in the same group. And it's awesome to keep the past and those friendships and relationships that you've built at TU, and just bring them with you. And, just having that camaraderie still, and it's like we never missed a beat. It's pretty cool.
I often ask this to seniors as they finish out their careers as to, hey, fast forward 10 or 15 years, what do you think you're going to think about TU? But now here you are 13 years past your graduation. Take us back. What are your thoughts on TU and how special a place it is? And would you change anything?
Well, some with all the social media, I mean, I feel like if we would have had the social media back then, that would have been pretty cool. Just with the broadcasting of the games, I think it's awesome to see Tulsa play on ESPN, even, the Twitter accounts that they have now and all of that. That was one thing that was funny with all of this is that, us being gone for 14, 15 years, we don't have a clue about Twitter. So I had to kind of learn all of that. I would say, I don't know if I would change anything. We worked just as hard as I know we would work now. Going back onto campus, the positives with that, with Fulton Collins, the buildings that were able to be built, the new apartments and everything that were able to be built, the new it's gorgeous. It's completely different looking now than when we were there, but we could see the construction beginning to build and as we were there. And I guess just going back, it's a gorgeous campus now. And I don't know if I would change anything.
Katie, thank you for taking the time. It's a real pleasure to catch up with you. And obviously, we look forward to your next visit to the softball field, maybe next year. And stay safe. And again, we thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, Bruce. I appreciate it.